Hair loss happens to most guys, and that's totally fine. The real problem isn't losing your hair, it's holding onto habits that don't work anymore. The guys who look sharp while balding aren't lucky, they've just updated their style to match what they have now. Today we're counting down the 7 worst style mistakes balding men make, starting with number 7. Dressing like you still have hair instead of upgrading your wardrobe to complement your new look. This is a huge missed opportunity because the right clothing choices can make you look incredibly sharp with a bald or balding head. Think about guys like Jason Statham, The Rock, or Stanley Tucci. They don't look good despite being bald, they look good because they dress in a way that works with their look. The key is understanding that without hair framing your face, your clothes need to do more work in creating visual interest and balance. First, pay attention to necklines. V-necks and Henley shirts create a vertical line that elongates your neck and balances a bare head. Crew necks can work too, but make sure they're not too high or tight, which can make your head look like it's floating. Collared shirts are your best friend, whether it's a crisp dress shirt, a polo, or a casual button-up. The collar adds structure near your face and creates a frame that hair used to provide. Colour becomes more important when you're bald. Rich, saturated colours like navy, burgundy, forest green, and charcoal look fantastic because they create contrast with your skin tone. Avoid colours that wash you out or match your skin too closely, especially beige and certain shades of grey that can make you look monotone. Black is particularly powerful for bald guys because it creates strong contrast and looks intentional and bold. Texture in clothing adds the visual interest that hair used to provide. Think chunky knit sweaters, textured blazers, chambray shirts, or anything with a subtle pattern. These create depth and prevent your overall look from appearing too flat or simple. Leather jackets work incredibly well on bald men because they add edge and structure. The same goes for denim jackets, bomber jackets, and field jackets. They all provide visual weight up top. Fit becomes absolutely critical. Baggy clothes will make you look smaller and less defined, while clothes that fit properly through the shoulders and chest create a strong silhouette. You want a tailored look, not tight, but definitely fitted. This applies to everything from t-shirts to suits. The goal is to create clean lines that make you look put together and intentional. Accessories can add personality without looking like you're compensating. A nice watch draws the eye to your wrist and adds sophistication. Subtle jewellery like a simple chain or ring can work if it fits your style. Scarves in cooler weather add texture and interest around your neck and face area. The key is choosing 1 or 2 quality pieces rather than overdoing it. Number 6. Wearing the wrong glasses or frames that are way too small for your new look. When your hair gets shorter or disappears completely, your glasses suddenly become one of the main features of your face. They're doing a way more visual work than before. Most guys don't realise this and keep wearing the same narrow frames that were balanced by their old hairstyle. Common mistakes include frames that are too narrow for your face width, which makes the temples splay out and your cheeks look fuller. Ultra-thin or invisible frames provide no structure when your hair no longer does that job. Low-sitting frames that overlap your cheek mass drag the eye downward and make your face look heavier. Without hair volume, you need slightly larger frames to restore visual balance. You don't need to go oversized like you're trying to hide behind them. Just avoid undersized frames that make your head look bigger by comparison. Angular frames like rectangles, squares, or brewline styles can carve definition on rounder faces. If you have very angular features already, softer rounds or ovals can balance things out. Reputable eyewear fit guides recommend using frame shape to balance your face shape, and this becomes even more important when you don't have hair to help with that balance. Consider contrast too. If your hair is gone or very short, a distinct frame colour like tortoise, deep navy, or charcoal adds a focal point to your face. Match the metal tone to your other accessories like your watch or rings, so steel with steel, warm tones with warm tones. The bridge height matters more than most guys realise. A higher bridge visually lifts the centre of your face, which is helpful if you have deep-set eyes or heavy brow ridges. For sunglasses, get polarised lenses for real glare reduction, and pick frames with decent lens height so there's no light leak under the brow. Just remember not to wrap them too tight around your head. We'll talk about why tension matters when we get to hats. Moving to number 5. Facial hair that fights your hairline instead of balancing it. Some guys completely avoid facial hair when their head shape would actually benefit from the structure it provides. Others grow a big bushy beard that overwhelms their newly minimalist haircut. Neither approach works well. Here's what visual balance actually looks like. If you go buzzed or shaved on top, a short even stubble between 2 and 5 millimeters or a tight beard between 6 and 12 millimeters gives your face structure and contrast. It frames your features without competing with your scalp for attention. Keep the cheek lines high enough to avoid that droopy, lower face look. If you're keeping some length up top, lighter stubble, or a tidy moustache might be enough. Too much beard plus hair length can look top-heavy and unbalanced. For guys with patchy beards, here's the secret. Lean into short and uniform length. Patchy growth actually looks fuller when you trim everything to the length of your thinnest area. Longer just means stringier and more obvious patches. If your face is round, raise the cheek line slightly and keep the sides tighter. A little extra length at the chin adds verticality and helps elongate your face. If your face is already long and lean, soften it with slightly fuller sides and controlled chin length, but avoid pointy goatees that make your face look even longer. The neckline is crucial and most guys mess this up. Define it at about 2 finger widths above your Adam's apple, following your jaw's natural curve. A high neckline looks like you're scared of growing a real beard, while a low one looks unkempt and sloppy. Match the texture of your beard products to your scalp look. If your scalp look is matte and close, keep beard products matte too with balms instead of glossy oils, so the finishes agree with each other. Keep moustache hair tidy so it doesn't cast shadows that make your upper lip look heavy. And please forget that old myth about shaving more often, making your beard or scalp hair grow thicker or faster. Reputable medical sources from places like Mayo Clinic and Cleveland Clinic are very clear this isn't true. The hair only feels coarser because the blunt tip is growing out. Coming in at number 4, keeping your old haircut after your hair has completely changed. This is like wearing a suit that's 3 sizes too big. It just doesn't fit your current situation. Those heavy side parts, pompadours, high shine slickbacks, and long layers only work when you have dense hair to support them. On thinning hair, these styles fail for specific reasons. Shine makes hair fibers clump together and creates more light bounce, which actually accentuates visible scalp. The glossy finish draws the eye to exactly what you're trying to minimize. Weight reveals problems too. Longer lengths collapse under their own weight and string out, especially in humidity or after you've been wearing a hat. Fixed parts are another issue. A hard part draws a crisp boundary line that can slice right through your thin zones, creating a roadmap to your trouble spots. Better frameworks that actually flatter thinning hair start with the indecisive buzz, which is a unified length anywhere from a number 1.5 to 3 all over. This lets the eye read the shape of your head, not individual strands. It's effortlessly neat, works great with facial hair, and takes product completely out of the equation. Another option is the close crop plus taper, where you keep the top at the shortest length that still shows some texture, usually 10 to 20 millimeters. Taper the sides and neckline tight, and use matte paste or clay to rough up the surface. If your front hairline is still decent, try a soft brush up. Keep the back and sides short, with the top just long enough to brush upward with matte product. No hard lines, no lacquered shine, just soft texture. If your crown is very thin, going shorter there than elsewhere is often more convincing than trying to match densities across your whole head. When you talk to your barber, here's your checklist. No high shine or wet look products. Keep movement but not stiffness. If they see any see-through spots, they should shorten until those areas read solid, and blend out any edges that look painted on or too sharp. For products, matte clays and pastes create micro texture and reduce reflectivity. Sea salt sprays with a light touch can add grit without that glued down look. Avoid hard gels and heavy pomades since they clump and separate fibers, making thin areas more obvious. Number 3 is believing hats cause hair loss and then wearing them completely wrong. Let's clear this up once and for all. Hats do not cause male pattern baldness. Androgenetic alopecia, which is the scientific name for male pattern baldness, is driven by genetics and hormones, not by normal hat use. Medical reviews are very clear about this. However, chronic tension from overly tight hats can cause something called traction alopecia, which is a real, well-documented form of hair loss from constant pulling and friction. The American Academy of Dermatology and medical literature caution that tight head coverings that constantly rub can contribute to this type of hair loss. But this is completely different from genetic balding, and it's totally preventable. The solution is simple: proper fit. Your hat should sit with about 2 fingers of space between it and your forehead. If you see deep skin imprints when you remove your hat, it's way too tight. Think about fabric and season 2. Use breathable cotton or technical mesh for workouts, UPF rated brims for high sun exposure, felt or wool for cool weather. The shape matters as well. If you're shaving or buzzing close, a slightly taller crown, not oversized but just a bit of height, adds vertical balance to your look. For rounder faces, a subtle pinch front or structured cap creates definition. Cleanliness is often overlooked but important. Shampoo or clean the sweatband regularly to avoid scalp irritation. Both your style and your skin benefit from this. Think of hats as styling tools that add colour, texture and silhouette to your look, not as something to hide under. Make them comfortable enough to avoid tension or constant rubbing, and rotate between different styles for different occasions. Number 2, forgetting your scalp is skin that needs serious sun protection. This is both a health risk and a major style mistake that ages you fast. On a thinning or bald scalp, UV exposure increases dramatically. It burns more easily and repeatedly, leading to peeling, redness, and uneven pigmentation that makes you look older and less put together. The American Academy of Dermatology emphasizes a layered approach to sun protection. First, seek shade when possible. Second, use sun protective clothing including a hat. Third, apply broad spectrum, water-resistant sunscreen with SPF 30 or higher on all exposed skin. If you don't cover your head with a hat, you must sunscreen your scalp. The AAD specifically recommends applying SPF 30 or higher broad spectrum sunscreen to the scalp and reapplying every 2 hours, and immediately after sweating or getting wet. The American Cancer Society agrees, recommending at least SPF 30 on any skin not covered by clothing. Style-forward ways to handle sun protection include building a hat rotation. Keep one wide brim hat for all-day sun exposure, one breathable cap for errands and training, and one dressier option, like a felt fedora or Panama for nicer outfits. This looks intentional and put together, not apologetic or like you're hiding. For sunscreen, many guys prefer powder or spray formulations designed specifically for scalp and part lines because they're easier to reapply throughout the day. The key is actually doing that reapplication every 2 hours. If you do get burned, use a gentle, fragrance-free moisturizer and pause any irritating skincare actives like retinoids until your skin calms down. The visual payoff of proper sun protection is huge. An even-toned, unburned scalp looks smooth and clean, like a shaved head that's meant to be there, not a sun-damaged afterthought that accidentally happened. And the number one worst style mistake for balding men, the hide and deny haircuts. We're talking about comb-overs, wispy lengths that barely cover anything, and those strategic ponytails that fool nobody. These styles seem like they provide coverage, but they actually highlight your thinning way more than just owning it would. Here's why these approaches backfire visually. Direction versus density is a big issue. Hair that flows across a thin area creates a visible bridge and a shadow line underneath. The eye automatically reads this as missing mass underneath, which amplifies the contrast you're trying to hide. Movement makes it worse. Wind, humidity, or sweat separate those carefully arranged strands and reveal the scalp underneath. Suddenly your solution becomes the main story, and not in a good way. There's also texture mismatch to consider. Sparse long hair tends to be silky and reflective, while scalp is matte. That reflectivity difference creates a spotlight effect that draws attention exactly where you don't want it. Better choices start with going shorter where density is lowest. Shorter hair stands up more and reflects less light, so scalp show-through becomes way less obvious. Buzzed lengths using a number 1 to 3 guard on top look deliberate and athletic, like you chose this look rather than being forced into it. Tight fades with soft top texture work great too. Fading the sides low and tight reduces the contrast between your sides and a thinning crown, while adding matte texture up top using clay or paste avoids that shiny separation that makes things worse. Ask your barber for defined edges with gentle lines. You want them to tidy up your hairline, not draw it on with a marker. A hard painted on line looks severe and unnatural, while a soft, natural outline looks modern and intentional. If you do keep some length, keep it honest. Slightly longer hair on thicker areas like a fringe can work, but stop before hair turns wispy. No strands should be longer than the distance they can cover without creating see-through gaps. When talking to your barber, here's exactly what to say. Tell them you're thinning on top or at the crown. You want everything neat and low maintenance. Ask for a close taper on the sides and back. Preserve a little texture up top with a matte finish. And specifically request no sharp painted hairline. The reality check here is that a comb over has become universal shorthand for trying to hide something. It rarely fools anyone and often dates your look way more than the actual hair loss would. Confidence isn't about pretending you're not balding, it's about being congruent. When what people see matches how you present yourself through intentional choices, you look put together and confident. Pick just 2 or 3 changes from what we covered and you'll see a noticeable difference within weeks. Remember, style is immediate even though hair grows slowly.